This is Ice Cream Gecko, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to make a small little DIY lamp oil lamp. You do not have to use lamp oil, you can use all sorts of different oils, but they do work with varying degrees of efficiencies. Just a little thing. This is the one I made a couple of months ago. This has been sitting outside, therefore there's a bit of dust and debris on there, but it works just fine. It's got a very nice little flame, just like a candle, but the, of course, main advantage of this is that you do not have to have a candle. You just put a bit of lamp oil in there, and overall it makes it a bit more versatile. One small disadvantage is that sometimes this little wick is going to keep burning just a little bit, so you have a bit of smoke coming from that for quite some time. First of all, you need a jar. This is a pate jar that just was empty and I washed it and took off the labels, but there's some of that glue still sticking on it. You need this, the lid for it. You need a bit of a wick. This is just a regular cotton string, and then you need something to burn. In my case, this is regular lamp oil. First of all, you're going to use a utility knife or a knife with a very thin blade, and you're going to cut, I marked this right here, you're going to cut a little 90-degree angle cut in there. I'm going to do that right away. It takes a bit more effort depending on how thick your lid is, but usually it's not too big of a deal. Many people actually use a drill for that. I do not use a drill for that for one particular reason that I'm going to show you in just a second. And that reason is that when you've got a drill in here and you drill out the material and it's basically gone, your wick is going to fall through that hole. Now, you do not want that to happen. You really want to have it sitting on top of the thing all the time, and maybe pull out a bit more whenever you need to. And therefore we make these two cuts and bend these little teeth outwards. That way I'm going to bend these outwards a bit more than we actually need them to, just make the threading of the wick a bit easier. Be careful not to cut yourself because these edges right there are quite sharp. It really makes the whole thing a lot easier now to operate the thing, because when the wick is constantly falling back into the jar, you know, it really gets messy after a while, and you really don't want to do that too often, because then again you will wear out the little, you know, thing right here where it grips it. I don't know what's it called, the thread. Maybe. Also, make sure that you do not grip with these teeth. You do not grip the wick too tightly. Otherwise, there's not going to be enough lamp oil or olive oil or rapeseed or whatever oil you use going to get through there. This right here seems okay for the moment, so we are going to put this in right here into the jar. That's really all we need to do. There's not much to it. And we're already done. I'm going to fill this up in just a second, and we're finished. Something you want to keep in mind is, before you choose the container you keep this in, the thing you want to make your lamp of, try not to take a can or something that's too high, because that way you really make it hard for the oil to travel through the wick up to the flame. And you want to keep that as short as possible. This right here seems to be kind of a sweet spot with a small footprint. This one is quite a bit bigger, but also with not too much way to travel. You know, that can get a bit difficult when you've got too much space in there. I'm going to fill this up and let this sit for an hour or two, and then I'm going to light it, and you see the finished result. It's really not much to it, right? This is really all we need for the start. No need to overfill it. And you do not want to keep these too full, because just in case they break or they fall down somewhere, you have a much smaller mess on your hands. And you can see right there, the wick is slowly starting to soak up the oil, and it will take a few minutes until it's reached the top. So quite some time later, this is now perfectly soaked through. I bent up the teeth a bit and pulled it a bit down, bent them back into place, because I didn't want to trim off too much of the wick itself. And if you keep it too long and it's soaked all the way up, it might get a bit dangerous when it's, you know, tipping over something with a huge burning wick on top. You don't really want to have that. So now we're going to check if the thing is properly secured. It is, and we can now go for the initial ignition. Got a nice little cheap old lighter, and we're going to try that out now. And this is a bit quicker than I thought. For comparison, let's get the old light in here too. This is, as you can see, maybe you can't, but there's a lot of soot coming up from that flame. This is going to get down quite considerably as soon as the wick has burned down up to a normal level like this one. Then soot production isn't as high any longer. You can see right there, it's slowly becoming quite sophisticated and looking pretty lovely. This concludes this little video on how to make an oil candle yourself. How to recycle, I guess, these older PET bottles, PET cans, not cans, glasses, jars. This was from a kind of vegetarian PET thing. I don't know. But it's cool to have something made out of these, something actually that might be useful when the power's out or something, instead of just throwing it away. One disclaimer though, if you use lamp oil, keep it away from children. It is very toxic for them. They can have, serious damages to brain and lung function when they drink these things. Sometimes these lamp oils are even perfumed with like banana or vanilla flavor scent, which is just outright disgusting. Why would you do that to such a toxic thing? I don't know. Just be careful when you've got kids around. Don't leave lamp oil up to them to consume. It's not really good. Okay, this is it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little video and could take something from it, and maybe I'm going to see you soon. Until then, goodbye.